if you're a pro hooper and you're someone that is looking to buy a house, or you're someone that is a content creator, or you're someone that does all three, and you want to know like the recipes or what that experience is like, or want to hear some gems on being a pro hooper and creating content, or being a pro hooper and buying a home like while you're overseas, this is definitely one you want to tune in. This is Brick by Brick, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, J Dan? What's up?
Man, doing real good, man. I'm excited for this one because it's I mean, it got everything. I mean, houses to business, everything. So I'm excited.
Yeah, man. He's our guest today is definitely gonna be, I don't know. He's doing his own thing, man. He's a creator himself, and
Yeah.
we've all watched the journey. We've got to watch the journey, and I've watched it pretty closely because anyway. Well, I'll get to that later.
Oh
But
yeah,
real quick, what's good with you? What's the week
man.
looking like?
Shoot. About 30 minutes to an hour ago, I just locked in first store deal with Zenith.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's
Yep.
up. That's what we
Yeah.
talking
So
about. Yeah,
uh,
congratulations.
nutrition place out in Lakewood. They put like GNC out of business. They only sell like third party tested supplements and like peptides, whole bunch of different stuff. And I talked to them like a week or two ago, just chopped it up, and he was like interested in it. So I was like, all right, well, here's a sample. Here's this. I was like, we could exchange for maybe services for a second. Can I try this? And yeah, man, he was like, bro, the people that bought it like are in love with it. He was like,
Yeah.
I sold out first week, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, I need to come back. So I went over there, chopped it up with him, and locked in a deal. And he gonna start
That's what's up.
selling it. Yep,
The first, the first of many, man.
first of
Because
many for sure.
I need a
Yeah.
new bottle myself. Like my bottle just ran
Oh
out like
yeah.
yesterday morning. I was like, shit, I need to get some more. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna be ordering another bottle. Like,
Yep. Yep.
you know. Uh, yeah, man. This week's been crazy. My big thing has been co-work and cloud co-work, and just
Mhm.
really thinking a lot about AI and big picture shit, and being able to code apps and code mobile apps and code,
Mhm.
like, it's crazy, man.
Mhm.
It's just, it unlocks, and also just automating some tasks for me that I don't want to do.
Mhm.
Has freed up a lot of time, and in a typical week like I've had this week, we've been out. Like Will's birthday was Monday, Tuesday night we had something, Wednesday night we had something,
Yeah.
tournament starts. Like it's just like
Yeah.
it's been every night.
Mhm.
And it's just like I would never have been able to get got done. I mean, you just looked at it, that page, like
Yeah.
I would
Yep.
never be able to get that done
Mhm.
in a week like this ever.
Yeah.
Not even close. Like what are we
Yep.
talking about? So the amount of power is insane. So I just been spending a lot of time, like I've been telling our guest earlier, is just spending my 10,000 hours in AI, man. And I've been doing it, just creating memes and shit like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, or thumbnails for this, creating this, like this is
Yeah.
AI. This is powered by AI. So, just really trying to hone in on that, and learn as
Yeah.
many skills as I can in that. But
Yep.
yeah, man. Well, let's get to our guest, man.
Yep.
Let's get to that. Our guest today, man, he's comes by way of up north, up north in North Seattle. Has played basketball at Western Washington, and then went to GCU to play D1 basketball. Has been playing pro basketball overseas for 7 years, like a whole career overseas of being a professional basketball player. Uh, a self-proclaimed nerd. I didn't know anything about that earlier. Has now recently moved to Tacoma, and that's been super dope because also is the uncle of my son's very best friend from like childhood. So I know all of his family except him. We've never met. And so it's kind of weird. It's crazy. It's dope. And this is a moment that's just been, I know Rachel's probably watching right now. She's like, she's definitely watching this one. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, and this dude is a content creator himself. He got a whole big old following himself. So I appreciate the time he's taking to come on the show. Trey Drechsel, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, I almost hid you. I hid you again. Trey Drechsel, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, brother? Did I get you on?
Still hidden. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
What's
There
good,
you go. My
everybody?
bad.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I've tuned into a couple of your episodes before, and I
Yeah.
know, of course, Dave, we knew kind of by like intersecting circles, but I've known of Jordan at least for a while now. Like one of my good friends from Tacoma, Mod Rory,
Oh,
goes
yep.
way back
Yep.
with Jordan.
Mhm.
and then Jordan used to train my cousin Camden, and so
Yep.
I've got some
Yeah,
Tacoma roots, you know,
Uh,
so
yeah,
feel like I'm right at home here. I'm right at home.
yep.
yeah. That's
Yep.
what's up. That's funny. It's such a small. Tacoma's hella small like that though. Like I mean, like Camden, me and Camden. I was playing against Camden in the TCC alumni game, and have you seen that picture where I'm tackling him? Basically, he's big, man,
Man, Camden's
and
a
I'm
crazy
old.
story though. Camden lost so much weight. You were probably tackling him when he looked like a damn middle. He was like
Yeah,
a
that's
center,
what I'm saying.
like a football center.
Facts. Like he's a big dude. So I was like, man, and it was actually like a loose ball, and we were both going after it. And I was like, nah, you coming down with me because I'm
For
old,
sure, for sure.
and you gonna fall down with me. But um, yeah. So shout out to you. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, so I mean, you kind of mentioned a bit of my hoop story. I was a walk-on at Division II Western Washington. Came from a 1A high school up north in Bothell. It was like the private school to Bothell High School. I was the
Okay.
same year as Zach Levine, so I remember, watching
Oh,
Zach just basically take off, and I was just like the little no-name kid from the private school. Ended up having a good senior year. Was
nice.
state player of the year in 1A. Had
Damn.
some D2 offers, but on some crazy, this is a long story, but ended up walking on at Western Washington. Earned a scholarship after my redshirt year. Dealt with some injuries. Had a really solid junior year, and I always had thought I was a Division I player, and so transferred up GCU, and then had a rude awakening at GCU. I'm not gonna lie, wasn't ready for the pressure, the demand, the schemes, and just
Mm,
all the stuff that goes into Division I basketball. There's politics. There's if they bring in a guy from high major, and I'm coming from D2, who's going to get the benefit of the doubt? Stuff like that,
right.
and just didn't have a year where like my relationship with basketball was terrible. I was like 8 points, 5 boards, couple assists, but it was like I hated hoop. And I
Damn.
was about 12 hours away from taking a financial advising job at Northwestern Mutual, and thank the Lord that didn't happen, because I can't stand when I get those calls from those Northwestern Mutual guys, because that would have been me, right? But my
Yeah.
dad just pushed me. He just said, "Hey, you got to give it a shot," right? And playing overseas, and had a good exposure camp, and got a job opportunity, and kind of ran with it overseas. And next thing you know, I'm looking back, it's been 7 years, and I've climbed a lot of ladders overseas and playing my best basketball, and a whole lot of life has happened in that time. You know, got married, just had a
Yeah.
son, bought a house in Tacoma. You know, there's a lot has happened in that 7 years, and it's most of it's been in Europe, and so it's just an interesting experience. Now that I'm back in Tacoma I've been back for about 4 months. I had a knee surgery, been rehabbing, been tapping in with Jordan Dam over at Dam Performance, getting some rehab. It's just been a lot, man. So it's just cool to be in Tacoma. Hopefully for not too much longer. Hopefully I get back across the water, start making money
Yeah.
again. But here we are.
Man,
Yeah.
you mentioned you went to exposure camp. I got mixed reviews about most exposure camps. How which one did you go to, and how was your experience with it?
Well, so I'm the same. I'm the
Yeah.
same, dude. If any college athlete told me they were going to exposure camp, I said you're getting scammed, because
Mhm.
90% of those camps, like, they charge a fee for the
Yeah.
guys showing up, and what they're
Mhm.
doing is they're preying on this lie that's told that playing overseas basketball is easy to do, like anyone can
Yep.
do it,
Mhm.
and that's
Mhm.
what most of those are. This one was a little bit different. You had like a draft, and it was ran by my agent at the time, Alvin
Yep.
Snow. He was
Mhm.
working with Worldwide, and they had a whole draft for it.
Yeah.
So there was like it wasn't anyone could show up. You had to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
essentially get drafted,
Yep.
and I mean, I remember looking back at that camp, there's a couple guys that are in the EuroLeague now, like, the talent was crazy, bro, like,
Oh
talent was
yeah.
unreal, and it wasn't just for rookies either, it was, like, current players and stuff, and
Yeah. I saw it.
I
Yeah. I
just had
remember.
one.
Yep.
Yeah. I had, like, one game where I almost had a triple-double, and then I went from having an offer for, like, $800 in Slovakia to, I had, like, 4 or 5 offers, gotta choose, like, one that was a good fit for me, so
That's
No,
that's
it's
dope.
that's
crazy.
fire. Yeah.
Who's
After
the
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was say after college,
No, you go ahead.
I went down to one in LA, and I went crazy. Me and Timmy went down there. Think in the 3 games, I averaged I think 19 and 9 in the game. So to the point where I'm thinking bro, I got offers in the bag. And then it was just bullshit in the next couple weeks. This team in Greece asked about you and nothing happened out of it. After that, the following year, I got the message hey, we want you to come down to Vegas and play in Eurobasket. Then get down to Eurobasket. And it's nah, there's some guys there. And it's oh, I'm going at this dude from Oklahoma, and still nothing came out of it. So, but when I remember when that worldwide combine was going on, and seeing guys, Isaiah Yuma Pig, all those guys in it, I was damn, this is some shit I wish I would have been able to do when I was straight out of college, just because the ones I went to, it was just damn, I did way too much. I got it on YouTube, so it's no cap. I was going crazy down there, but like I said, a lot of them are just money grabs. So the fact that I know someone else that had a really, really good experience. Scotty Ewing.
Yep.
Yeah, he went to one
He actually just
after.
texted me.
Bro, he went to that's the homie. He went to one after his first year of CC and went straight over to Asia, just off of camp. I was yeah, that's crazy.
Scotty's crazy too. He has the Filipino passport, or it's Hong Kong passport or something. So
He's
he's a little bit of an advantage, because you got to think
no, for sure.
His competition. He's going against he's fighting for jobs with the local Filipinos and stuff. Or
Yep.
I might be tripping, might be culturally insensitive on that, just because I'm not sure the actual Asian country you got a passport, so I'm kind of tripping a little bit. But that's my boy. Scotty just hit me. He just came back, I think 2 days ago, and he's trying to get some work in. So that's a good dude.
For sure.
That's what's up. Who's the best player? I'll just get this one out of the way, because people probably will hear that. Who's the best player in your experience in your 7 years overseas that you've played against?
That I've played against overseas. Would you say American or
anybody? You'd be damn, that dude gave us work. That's the best dude I've seen and played against.
One of the most eye-opening experiences, I would say, the one that kind of tripped me out the most, oh, there's levels to this shit, was last year. I was playing Portugal, and the team, it's called to start the season, they have this Battle of the Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal, and the team that won the championship in Portugal plays the team that won the championship in Spain. If you know anything about overseas basketball, Spain is the best country for in all of Europe for both level, pay, accommodations, but just about everything.
Okay.
Portugal is not that, right? There's about 3 teams that are good, and so we go up against Real Madrid, and first game of the year, and they had their point guard was Facundo Campazzo, played in the NBA, played for the Nuggets, is in the EuroLeague MVP running almost every year. But there's this play where I was in the help side. He was coming off the pick and roll. My job was to essentially get the roller. The deep roll was but my man's in the corner. When he came off the pick and roll, we locked eyes. And he's staring into my soul, and it was it felt like the world froze, and I'm it was almost kind of a weird experience. He's looking me in my soul, and then right when I take a half step, even subconsciously to go to the roller, he whips this hook pass to the corner right in the pocket. Bro just gets just catch and shoot wide open 3. But that experience where he was thinking the game 3 layers ahead of what. I knew what he was thinking, but he was just watching me, just toying with me. And I'm hold up. That was an experience for me, especially as an American when you overseas, especially at the lower levels. Some of the European guys you're going against are pretty weak. It was oh no, this guy's top of his class. This is top of the world level talent, bro. He understands the game no one I've seen. So
yeah, he's cold. He was doing work in the league. Shoot, he's nice. And in the Olympics and whatnot. I know exactly what that is. Yeah, you mentioned you bought a house too. So you that's what I'm curious about, is how was that process? Because the whole point of starting Brick by Brick stemmed from a situation where someone was buying a house overseas that was a pro, but we were wait, this is a loophole. How do you have actual income like that, but you can't buy a house in America? This is kind of weird. But what was your experience like?
Yeah, well, I'll say this. So it was miserable. That's the first thing. Because of the time difference and stuff, and the need for that back and forth communication, because the profile I'm submitting to my, loan officer to go try and get it approved, the mortgage loan officer, is very unique, right? And so for me to prove my income, I'm sending them contracts that are in Portuguese,
Mm,
and then I'm having, and it's not just Portuguese because I played the year before was Germany, the year before was
Mm,
Poland, so it has to show depth of income, right?
mhm.
right.
So they're having to translate multiple languages, and and sometimes they say, "Oh, that's enough." Okay, no, we need your pay stubs. No, we need this, and so it became this huge thing. And I had worked with this loan officer, um, who was like, "Yeah, I got you. Like, it's easy. I can figure it out." And normally I'm not sure how long it's normally supposed to take to get a loan approved or a mortgage approved, but first I didn't hear back from him for a month. I'm like, "All right, this is what's going on." Hit
Damn.
him up,
Yeah, that doesn't
"Hey,
look good.
they're not the underwriters aren't able to decipher what's all going on." I said, "Okay." He's like, "Give us a couple more weeks." Give him a couple more weeks. He's like, "Okay, actually, some of the stuff you submitted passed our deadline, so now we need more pay stubs." And I'm like, "Okay, so I'm
Mm,
resubmitting the stuff. Like you're not getting it. Like if you work with a loan officer that hasn't dealt with like a foreign income thing, it just doesn't work. Like it
right.
just so I swear, I don't want to air him out, but he just said, "Hey, we can't do this." And I was like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is too complicated. Have a good day."
Oh, oh,
And so
damn.
and it was during the time because half my rationale of getting the house was like, okay, if I stay I was tired of living at my parents' house for the summers. So I was gonna Airbnb, and I'm looking at the price of the Airbnb for, 3 months, and I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
this is taxing,
Mhm.
and I don't have a place to store my stuff."
Yep.
So it was like, I need a home base. It'll help my wife feel more secure, help us take the next step to now having kids, right? And
Mhm.
so we ended up going with my wife's mother-in-law. No, how do I say it? My wife's sister's mother-in-law, there it is. And she did some finagling, and next thing you know, I got approved for the loan, and, um,
Interesting.
it was really difficult, but then
Yeah.
again, because of the urgency of the time frame of wanting the house for that summer, our buying window was accelerated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, we couldn't wait for an opportune interest or like a great interest rate. We couldn't wait for all these things, and at the time, the housing market was like it was a seller's market.
Yep.
So we're in there like even now, I don't love the loan that we're locked into, but add this on top of it to the experience. Now the interest, like I think I locked into like mid sevens, low sevens on my interest rate,
Mm.
which is tough. It's tough.
Mhm.
But I was doing that off the income I was making. I did like the rule of thumb. Okay, I wanted 25%, 30% of my, monthly income.
Yep.
I can handle that mortgage.
Yep.
Well, then what happens is like just the past couple months ago, I lost my job because I got injured. And then
Yep.
there was a clause in the contract that cuts the contract. I'm unemployed. Now that mortgage is suffocating. And I'm like, okay, can I refi?
Mhm.
Can I refi? I'm like, okay, maybe if I get this down a little bit, this would take a little pressure off. Well, because now I don't have a contract, an ongoing contract, can't refi. So
Oh,
now I'm in a super tough spot, you see? So now it's like I gotta get healthy so that we can figure this
yeah.
out. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
anywho,
Yeah, that's I
it's a
appreciate you
lot.
being honest
No,
with
yeah.
that because that's like that will help more people than you think.
Yeah,
Like
for
that
sure.
story right there you just told will help a lot of people.
For
Yeah.
sure.
That's real.
But it's also interesting just that like I like to riff on this stuff too. I had a teammate in Benfica, where I played with Ahmad. There's also another local guy who he was able to buy a house out in Bonnie Lake,
Mm.
and he got it right before COVID and got at like 3%
Yep.
APR.
Damn.
So his mortgage super low. He's able to what he ended up doing is so first year, 2 years, he just had no one living in it. I like when I'm overseas, my sister lives in it, kind of like stewards it,
Yeah.
pays
Yeah.
some rent. He didn't have anyone living with it. And then he's getting kind of like sick of the mortgage. And then he now has renters there.
Mhm.
And because the APR is so low, he's able to cover the whole mortgage and some. to the
Mm.
point that he's been in Portugal for like 6 years, was able to buy a property in Portugal too.
Mhm.
Oh, damn.
So now he's got a property in Portugal and Bonnie Lake, and now it's basically like, "Oh, what do we wanna do?" Like, he moves
Yep.
back to Bonnie Lake, we can just rent the one out in Portugal, and 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 so many options, I guess, and so what I've
Right.
been considering too is when we get up to go overseas again is to get some travel nurses in there, because Allen
Yep.
Moore's
Yep.
right there. You
Yep.
have, Tacoma General. That's kinda
Mhm.
the next play, I think, just to kinda, at least in the near future, lessen the, I
Yep.
guess, monthly, stress.
100%.
So,
For sure.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I think the whole point of even brick by brick and everything we're doing is to help in those situations, or at least have those conversations so people know what they're looking for. And we have, our own team that can handle and educate on those, where it's like, hey, are you looking to buy property here? We have someone that can help, with the pre-approval or with renting it, just in case someone, let's just say someone does want to do what your friend did and like, oh, I want to have a rental. Well, now that I'm over in Portugal, what if I want to have some more rentals so that by the time I do decide to retire, I'm not thinking, hey, how do I make money? It's like, hey, I built this over my 7 to 10 years of playing
yep.
so that I could come back and relax, and we feel like that's just a missing piece in the
Mhm.
industry in terms of helping, overseas players, and just build that wealth for their family.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that, man, that loop that income thing, man. There's
Mhm.
It's
gotta be
tough.
there's gotta be something, and that actually I think that's coming to a head here soon with
Mhm.
blockchain and stablecoin and cryptocurrency and global currencies. Um, I think that's coming to a head, and like you mentioned with we were just talking about AI before this. Well, guess what? Like, navigating different language contracts is just got easier.
Yeah.
Not saying it's gonna be 100% accurate. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it definitely is not what it was maybe back when you were doing like 1 year is in AI years right now is like 5 years. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because it's accelerating so fast.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I feel like there's gotta be something for that loophole here soon because when I first
Mhm.
heard that, I was like, "There's no way in the world overseas players should not be able to buy a home
Yeah.
back in the States, like, because
Yeah.
of this little
Yeah.
small paperwork thing." Like, this is
Yeah.
Mhm.
just stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of interesting aspects too because it's also was weird to me because when you negotiate your contract overseas, the number you're negotiating with teams is after taxes. And
Mm,
so sometimes you're naive. Sometimes you rarely even see that other number. And so
Mhm.
right.
like, okay, I signed for 150K. I'm like, okay, like that's gonna get me in this range. And then all of a sudden you see, oh wow, actually the number is around 270K that
Mhm.
the club is actually paying. You're like, oh, okay. I'm approved for way more or all these things. And so, okay, it's cool that you're approved for more, but that can also put you at more risk, like so
Right.
Yeah.
maybe you get a
For
bigger
sure.
loan than really
Yep.
what you probably should have stayed within. And
For
I think
sure.
that was part of what happened is as we had started looking up in Woodinville area, we were just like, I was like, that's where I'm from. I look up there. The only thing I could get for my price range was like 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and the
Right.
bathroom's connected to the kitchen. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not doing all that. And so
Yep.
yeah, lot going on too, and then the other thing is a guy that you should have on the podcast. He's not quite Tacoma, but he's from Oregon. His name's Kyle Wiltshire. Played in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I know
Cold.
he's
exactly what that
he's
is.
he's
He's
kind of
cold.
one of yeah, he's cold. He's cold. He's one of
Mhm.
like I think one of the early forward thinkers in terms of real estate investing in overseas and pro athletes is what he did is he every team he'd signed to, if it was any sort of vacation destination, instead of getting the
Mm,
club normally gives you an apartment, he would buy an apartment or something in that place, and the club would still pay a living stipend that would cover most of his rent for that year or his mortgage for that year. And then what he does is he would do contracts with the club that the next American that comes in
oh,
lives in his
wow.
apartment because
Mhm.
the deal with that's tough for Americans to go over there. Okay, we don't got a microwave, we don't have an air fryer. Okay, we don't have a dryer. Like those things that are normalized in our culture aren't necessarily normalized in a lot of these countries.
Yeah.
He
Right.
outfits his apartments for Americans, and then
Damn.
you have just consistent renters,
Yep.
high quality people in your space. It's like, bro, it's pretty unbeatable.
No,
Bro,
absolutely.
that right
And
there is the hack. The two gems. So,
yep.
I'll let you go real quick. The two gems. I just want to make sure that people heard was you earlier in the conversation. You mentioned when you were planning for your mortgage, you were talking about the 20 to 30% rule of your
Mhm,
income. That's one. I think that that's a big one that people need to hear, and don't not just pro Uber, but anybody in general.
mhm,
And then the second one is that, you know, that
mhm.
like that's an idea for an overseas player. Like, I mean, you just unlocked something that someone might act on, and you just changed someone's trajectory. So
Yeah,
that's
for
super dope,
sure.
man. Appreciate you
No,
sharing that.
I think there's an opportunity as well for college guys to do that right now. Like for
Yeah,
example,
facts,
when I
facts.
was in college, like we had a basketball house that was 5 bedrooms, and everyone just pays their own rent. So I mean, if someone comes in and has the opportunity to buy, a basketball house, or say someone is getting NIL and they buy that house and then work out something with the coach or the school, where like, hey, put 5 guys paying through this every single year, bro, you're immediately stacking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep,
That's the smartest thing I've heard is because especially with the NIL space, it's like, why
Yep,
would you not too? And especially if you're
exactly.
going to especially you're on a college campus, so there are consistent renters. Okay, you gotta deal with
Exactly.
maybe you might have to deal with some crazy renters, like, okay, they're gonna throw
yeah,
parties at
yeah.
your house.
Your property management got to be on point for
Right,
sure.
right. So,
No.
yeah.
No, that's dope.
Oh yeah.
And so in the meantime, we were talking, we don't got that much time left. I know you got to get out, but
Mhm.
content creation, man, you've built this whole business and brand and the Atypical brand and all of that, man. Like that's super dope. Like what you've built out. Was that planned or is that just something that you like to do or what? How did that start?
Yeah, so really kind of weird, conception of Atypical is so, my wife actually started a YouTube channel when she first, came out overseas with me in, it was my 2nd year in Serbia, and she was able to grow her YouTube channel to, like, 2K followers in, like, 3 months just
Oh,
because
wow.
these certain countries have, like, cult-like followings. They're super nationalistic.
Yeah.
We were
Hmm.
in Serbia. All that country wanted to see was Americans interacting with their culture and being
Yep.
respectful.
Yep.
And then it was a bonus that I was a basketball player, and then it was kinda that, like, that basketball wife type energy,
Yep.
and so we did a bunch of YouTube videos for that year, and I was just, like, an extra in her YouTube videos, and then she kinda got burnt out. We did this one video on, Serbian snacks, and there were some crazy comments in there because she was, like, being honest on the review. My dumb ass, I'm like, I'm trying everything like, "Oh, it's good, yeah," and she's over there like, "This is kinda trash," and bro, the comments were, like, berating her, like, "It's getting nasty," and, so she was over it. She's like, "I'm not doing this anymore," and I'm like, "Okay, I kinda enjoyed making this content, so whatever, I'll just keep it on my mind," and so then at the end of that season, I had just, like, had a career year, and, I, like, broke my hand in the last game of the season. Crazy storyline, but I had, like, switched teams and was playing my old team and all this stuff, and I was experiencing the Serbian medical system, like, "Yo, this story is crazy. Like, someone's gotta hear this, bro."
Yeah.
And so then what happened is that summer, like, my friend, he was growing his business. He had a journal company, and he had been live streaming on YouTube and doing YouTube videos, and he had all that stuff set up, and he was
Yep.
challenging me like, you gotta make a YouTube channel." I said,
Yep.
"Nah, nah, and then that summer, I had gotten mad depressed because, after that season in Serbia, I was getting, like, some NBA looks, like, for the Jazz and the Rockets for summer league, and
Okay.
then I had went to Houston for the summer league, the little, like, training camp before summer league, made the team, and then some crazier stuff happened where my club that I was signed to didn't clear me for summer league, and I
Mm.
got that opportunity removed from, like, I thought it was good money, got it just taken out, from me for some politics stuff,
Yep.
and that was, like, the final straw. I was like, "Someone's gotta hear about this stuff," and so,
Yeah.
that's kinda where it started. But the actual, like, brand and the idea of Atypical, all about, like, pursuing your best self, your mindset, and, like, holistic development for athletes, that came from even earlier. Me and my buddy, we had this idea of next play development, and we were calling back and forth my first year overseas. We were, like, going back and forth, and he ended up having to do a lot of other stuff, he had a family business, had to, like, dive into that for his family, and I was like, "No, I like this idea,"
Yep.
and I felt like the only way that I elevated overseas is I had, like, this kinda unique mindset. Like, I had seen
Mhm.
so many more talented Americans just fall off the wagon the moment something gets hard, the moment something's unfair, to immediately choose that perspective that, this is all happening to me, not
Mhm.
happening for me. And I just that's how I had operated. That's underdog story. That was kind of the what I deemed the key to my elevation. And I
Yep.
said, man, this can change lives. This can impact athletes if at the moment they can reframe stuff. And so then I really structured the YouTube channel around this mindset in terms of like I like with my it's a business, yes. I don't make a lot of money on it. Maybe I will like when I'm done playing and really try and monetize it. But my metric for my business is impact. How can I
Yep.
help people the most? And my business philosophy is that if I help more people, money will probably just follow.
It
Yep.
Um,
follows. Yep.
and that's just kind of how it transpired. And then I'd made YouTube videos for like a couple years and it was all on my own and it was pretty inconsistent. But yeah, I was getting decent following, like around 5K subs on YouTube. And then I took a chance. I was like, I want an editor. So
Yeah.
I had put it on my Instagram story. I'm looking for an editor. And this young Portuguese kid had said, hey, I'm getting into editing. And I said, I was really vulnerable. I didn't want to give away that creative control. I said, the
Yep.
only way you get this if you go meet me at the mall, we have coffee.
Yep.
And this dude barely spoke English. Like, we were sitting down in this, like, essentially Mall of Lisbon, Mall of America type vibe. We're in the food court drinking espresso coffee, and that was my first employee, and since
That's dope.
since I hired him, I think we had a streak of 64 Sundays in a row we uploaded a YouTube video.
Yeah.
So, that's
Damn.
really you do something long enough, you're gonna catch some sort of traction most of the time, so
No,
Yeah.
yeah, for
That
sure. I'm glad you said that story because that the question I was about to ask is like, what led you to starting the YouTube and the content creation? And I was gonna say, even right now, I think you're gonna find a blessing in the knee injury because I remember
Mhm,
after
Mhm.
every injury, I've had 5, 6 major injuries, and at the time, it's like, damn, like it's over. And then a year or two later, I'm like, damn, I'm so glad that happened because
mhm,
otherwise I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have focused
mhm,
on this. I would have not been creative with this, and something goes into it. So seeing like that, now you're here going crazy with content. The content you make is I love it because that's something I wish I would have
Yep.
done when I was overseas and came
mhm,
back and told my story. Then you starting the brand is it's
mhm,
bro. I think in another 3 years, it might end up being one of your biggest blessings. Where it's just like, damn,
Mhm.
because of this, it led into this, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been so interesting. Sorry, Dave, to cut you off. It's been
No,
just been
you're good.
interesting because my buddy he was like the best man, or he was my officiant in my wedding, and like one of my best friends, he's like the real entrepreneurial influence on me. He kept like I was really down after the injury. I'm like, man, I'm cooked. Like all my views started going down, all these things. Just felt like I had this huge opportunity in my hand, and it's something out of my control ripped it out. And he said, "This will be the best thing for you
Uh,
because now you have to learn how to create value without it just being because you're a pro basketball player.
uh,
Why should someone listen to you besides the fact you're a pro basketball player? Why is, you know?
mm,
And that's been a hard look in the mirror. It's just been, okay, what am I actually trying to do here? Like, where is
mhm.
my true value outside of what I do? And I think it's just been a huge reframe on just my identity as a man and as an athlete for sure.
Man, and doing that publicly is not for the weak.
No.
Like, you're very vulnerable in your content, and I think that's why you're always once you have a fan, they're fans for life. They're gonna be interested in what you're doing no matter what it is, and so that's what I
Mhm.
think is fascinating, and people will watch like, this is the best time to be going through that process, I feel like, because the algorithms are interest-based now, it's not
Mhm.
social-based.
Mhm.
So you can put out something about anything. And
Yeah.
if you do this long enough, you kind of know what's going to hit and what's not.
Mhm.
If you just watch news and Google Trends and all that kind of stuff, but like, um, but you also want to be true to stuff that you want to make too,
Yeah.
like, and you'll find your people in that. And I think the next
Mhm.
like Jordan's exactly right because that next blessing is going to come from the skills and the badges that you're earning in real time.
Mhm.
You're just
Mhm.
layering on badges. That's all you're doing. Like, even if it doesn't shit, me and J Dam had this conversation yesterday. It's like, man, we're already doing a lot of good things. It's just now how do we hone in on things and be
Mhm.
more intentional? And even if you don't, the skills that you did, like we were talking about speaking,
Mhm.
like, okay, so I'll give an example. This week I'm on a board for Ed Collaborative, and I had to do interviews during this event. So we're calling people back to do interviews. It's the senator, it's Willie Stewart,
Mhm.
I'm like, damn, I'm interviewing like and then the shooter, Alan, shout out to Alan. I didn't know these dudes. I just met him that day, and he was just like, "Man, the interviews." I was like, "Bro, I've just been podcasting for so long. I can knock these out on the
Yeah.
fly. Like, I don't even
Yeah.
need the questions." But
Yeah.
that's just from putting in this work. But it's also like, well, shit, I'm here. I just looked around. I was like, "Damn, I'm super blessed to be sitting in front of these
Yeah.
people, man. This is dope."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No,
but
that's super cool.
yeah,
I think your point on vulnerability is when I started the YouTube channel and kind of like with all my stuff and content, it's always come from this place like I'm not that cool. Like I said, I'm a nerd and a lot of social media is cool guys. So if I'm gonna try and compete with them on who can be cooler, I'm gonna lose, right? Like, are they gonna watch some overseas guy playing in Lithuania? Or talking about his day and what he went through, or are they gonna watch Anthony Edwards, talking about, game 5 of the Western Conference Finals? They're gonna
right.
watch that. Like, he's cooler, he's got more swag, more aura, whatever, but what they're gonna relate with me is because 'cause I'm just gonna be so authentic about
Yep.
what I'm going through, and
Mhm.
with that comes it's like, "Oh, I relate with that." Like, I'm dealing with the same thing,
Yep.
and that also comes from this feeling like since I was an underdog, since I came from a high school that had never had a Division I basketball player, like all this stuff, I had no OGs. I didn't have Jamal Crawford. I didn't have IT.
Right.
I didn't have any OGs like coming up to me. And so it was like, okay, I didn't have that. Maybe I can be that for someone else in some sort of roundabout way.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it's been a crazy journey, and it's just been cool to kind of see the impact. I still gotta, like, improve my skills on how to properly value my impact, I guess, and
Mhm.
eventually make some money from it, and that's been a hard transition. Like, I started a community, and I have, like, a free membership and then a paid, and it's just always, like twisting my insides when I'm asking for the paid membership, and it's like but then the people that pay are like, "Oh, this should be more expensive," or, "Oh, I'm so thankful for this," and so it's
Facts.
like, I eventually have to, yeah, figure that out a little bit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, in my opinion, though, I think you already did the hard part because,
Mhm.
like with me, I feel like I can build a product or something and have a vision with something, but the hardest thing is building the following, you know?
Hmm.
Mhm.
And you already built that following. So I think that as soon as that clicks, it's going to come to a certain point where that money is going to come in automatically. Like pretty much my little brother, Jordan Joseph, he grew
Mhm.
his stuff to, 20K quick. And it was
Mhm.
like,
Hmm.
now that he just flipped that page the last 2 months and has the editor and has the contacts where it's like, oh, this is all I need to do to get paid monthly. It's like
Yep.
because a
Yep.
lot of times it's like it's really you don't need a crazy phone, but if you have over 10K, brands are gonna pay you just to throw something in the
Yep.
video. And you already
Yep.
do enough things where it's like say a warm-up video, there might be a certain type of band that people use and they're like, hey, we're gonna give you two bands, but you got to use our bands in this video.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I feel like you did the hard part, and I feel like it's only a matter of time before it's like these brands start reaching out, or it might just start with one collab or something, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be a certain point where it's gonna be big, bro. Like it's gonna be big. I can see it already.
Yeah,
Yep.
the YouTube brand partnerships is I, like, pushed them away for so long 'cause they
Mhm.
a lot of times they felt inauthentic or they didn't have a brand alignment,
Mm.
and now since I've been home and I don't have money from basketball, I was like, "Let me start to look into these," and I think we've had 5 or 6 brand deals, and they're starting to
Mm.
get more natural in the
Mhm.
collaborations, and a cool one, I mean, I'm not sure when this podcast is gonna come out, but this might be the reveal.
Yeah.
I'm getting flown out to the Milwaukee Bucks. It's Bucks
Sheesh.
versus Spurs, and they're, like, paying
Oh,
for the whole trip and also, like,
Fire.
a flat fee, and it's a sponsor that works with the Bucks, and so this is, like,
that's what's
super,
up.
super
It's
cool, and that was,
fire,
like, when I
bro. It's
when I
fire.
told my dad that, my dad was like, "What?" Like,
Yeah, bro,
Like
that's
it was
fire.
very much like, oh, this is real, and I was like, I guess it is. Like, and it just still is weird to me because it's like, oh yeah, we're looking for an influencer. I'm like, bro, I'm the least influencer. You talk to me in person, you're like, bro, this guy is a goofball, bro. And
Nah.
I guess here we are. I'm an influencer, and it's like, golly.
Shout out to your Tom and Marnie too. By the way, I know the
Yeah.
the whole Drexel family. They'd be mad if shout out to Charlie, shout out to Chuck,
Yeah.
shout out to it was a big Rachel, Chris. I know it was his birthday not too long ago, and he has a full head of hair. That's what we be laughing about the same shit.
You got
Anyway,
that little mullet.
yeah,
You got a little mullet
Grace.
now.
Yeah, you got your sis, your fam, like yeah, the whole Drexel clan. Like shout out to all them, y'all. I just want to
Appreciate
make sure I get that in there before I forget.
it. Yes, sir.
But yeah, man. Well, I know you got to get to a workout, but like we have our one last segment, and it's called "Put Me On." So put us on. Or actually, yeah. Before that, too. Also, where can people find you and find your content and all that stuff? And then we'll do
Yeah,
"Put Me On."
on YouTube, if you just search Trey Drechsel, it'll probably come up. Instagram at Trey Drechsel. I have like my brand Atypical. We just dropped like sweatsuits,
Oh yeah.
tank tops, shirts, 2 pairs of shorts. Like we did a little clothing athletic line collection. That's just on www.liveatypical.com.
Yep.
A lot went into this. I still think like I'm not like a cool guy, so I think it's like people are like, "Oh, you made clothing," and I'm like, it's pretty nice stuff. I worked with a designer who designs for a couple of brands for Complex, so it's like top of the line quality. It's yeah, that's where you can find me most of that stuff, and then I
That's
also
what's
have a
up.
community, but you can find that through the link tree on any of my socials.
Yeah, man. Well, people will tap in, man. Tap in because I watch it. I watch all the content. I love your shit. And yeah, just keep going, man. You're doing big things. And I know it
Yeah.
doesn't feel good right now, but yeah, you on your way.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I appreciate it. It feels kind of it always feels weird being on a podcast talking about myself a little bit, but here we are.
nah, that's good. Shit. What do you mean? You do that? You put out all the content is
Yeah, but
all about
it's like
you.
I'm talking about myself like to a camera.
Yeah,
It's like it's a little different.
yeah. Nah, I feel that. I feel that. Um, Yeah, so the segment's called "Put Me On." It's basically anything that you're on. It could be I'm music oriented, so I'm always listening to new music or whatever. It could
Mhm.
be ice cream. It could be whatever. There's something this week that you use is like, damn, I need to put people onto this. So
Mm.
yeah, you go ahead. You
Um,
can start.
I would say probably in the last month, I've been rereading. This is my 4th time reading through Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, all about
Mm,
stoicism, controlling your response, kind of outlining your personal code, your philosophies, and how you can stick to them. And I think it's one of the most powerful books for a young athlete. If you really take the time to try and digest it, it's there's like the Bible, and then there's Meditations by Marcus Aurelius is like number 2. So
okay.
it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's what's up. Jay Dan, what you got?
Shoot, I actually just got a new book that came in yesterday. I got $100 million business models
Okay.
by Alex Hermosi. So I'm gonna tap in with that um this weekend, next week. But other than that, shoot, I'm shouting out Dominant Nutrition since we just did a deal today. So
Let's
hey,
go.
if you guys in
Yeah.
if you guys in Lakewood area, go tap in, go buy it. They
Yeah.
sold out last week just on a trial, and hey, go in there. They got a lot of stuff. Dude knows his stuff. So yeah, shout out Dominant Nutrition in Lakewood.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's dope. Mine is definitely shallow. Not really shallow, but cloud co-work. I've been spending a lot of time in that, and just I think it's gonna be it's the most powerful AI platform out there right now. And we got a new Culver's last night on the Mike Will Made It album. Shit's fire. So anyway, that's the two things I'm on right now. And I seen everyone putting their Diamond Drake Iceman things in the Abbeys too, and that's dope. That I hope Drake comes out and just kind of gives himself a little bit of just get some grace. Let him kind of figure things out a little bit. It's been a tough couple rough years for my man, for the boy. So be nice to him. The Iceman's on the way. It's got heat, I hope. So anyway, with that, y'all, brick by brick, Trey Drexel, check him out. Click on all of his content. Go follow him. Be part of his group. And yeah, tap in with us next, brick by brick. We got more coming. Y'all be
Sir.
good. Peace.
All right, cheers. Cheers.
All right. Yeah, keep yours will have it'll
Brick by brick.